Welcome to the Alaska Gateway School District's short video series on lesson planning in Classbright. This is just a short video to explain a little bit about the lesson plan itself. When you're lesson planning in Classbright, who can see your lessons? Everybody who's in the Classbright system can see your lesson plans at any time. There's a lot of reasons for this, the main one being that we like the system to be open so that teachers can freely collaborate with each other across the district if they choose to at any time. It is also nice for teachers to be able to share parts of lessons or resources with each other, and this just makes it easy to do that. Who sees your lessons on a regular basis? That would be your building administrator, the person who you submit your lesson plans to, and also district administration can also review your lessons at any time. The purpose for creating clear lesson plans, there are several. First and foremost, creating clear lesson plans is for you. The lesson planning process is a thinking process. It's a chance for the teacher to really be kind of metacognitive about their practice and really think deeply about what they're going to be doing and how that will affect their students and what kind of learning and processing they want their students to be doing and how they can best achieve that. The other end is if a teacher is going to be observed, or even if they're not going to be observed, the lesson plan needs to provide a fairly clear picture of what's going on in the classroom at any given time. So for that reason, a lesson plan is much more than just listing down page numbers. Any person who walks into a classroom in our school district should be able to look at a lesson plan and anticipate what they'll probably be seeing when they walk into that room. And so for that reason, there are certain components that we really like to see in lesson plans. If teachers are creating templates in Classbright, feel free to copy this one if you like. Even if you don't copy this one exactly, these are the components mainly that we hope to see, and there's some very specific reasons for these. The lesson objective. And a lesson objective is really a statement about what will the students be learning. This is not a statement about what students will be doing. So saying that the students will be reading a Clifford book is not a lesson objective. That's what they're going to be doing, but that's not what they're going to be learning. What is the learning goal? That's what the lesson objective is. The lesson introduction can be a number of different things. It can be some kind of a bell ringer activity. It can be where the teacher connects prior knowledge or does a kind of a, what do you already know about this? Or a mini lesson or some kind of an engagement activity to really bring the students a little bit closer with the ideas that they're about to encounter. The next is the actual procedure of the lesson. What are you going to be doing first, second, third? What kind of activities are you going to be doing? Those kind of things get laid out in a lesson procedure. It's nice to include strategies. Sometimes you include these within your lesson procedure descriptions, but the strategies are things about how you're going to be doing this. If you don't list strategies, the assumption is that you're doing whole group instruction all the time. And although oftentimes, teachers do strategies kind of on the spur of the moment, depending on their class needs, some we do plan ahead of time. If I already know that a concept sort is not something I can do on the spur of the moment. That takes a little bit of pre-planning. And so if that's a strategy that I'm going to use during the lesson, I want to list that here. We're going to do a couple of think, pair, shares. I want to do a jigsaw activity. Those are instructional strategies I'm going to be sure to list. I've pre-planned those. I know I'm going to do them, so I'm going to include a little note about those for myself first and foremost, so that I don't forget. Also, if I'm going to be breaking kids into groups, and if there's some specific differentiation strategies that I'm pre-planning to use, I want to make sure and list those. Not all teachers list lesson materials. But sometimes it is handy to do so, especially if you're going to be using things besides just your textbook. We often write lesson plans for the week ahead and sometimes 2 or even more weeks ahead. And listing materials can be a real time saver. Teachers have busy days and see lots of students, and um, these are helpful notes. The other really crucial piece of information to include in a lesson plan is assessments. How are you going to be assessing students on what they've learned? You've listed an objective. How will you know if they've met it? What kind of formative and summative assessments are you going to be including in this lesson? And those are kind of the main components that are really crucial to lesson planning.